and the ferry that goes.
Oh yeah, the loose
Right,
ferry.
exactly. This story, readers who know that area would recognize the similarities, but I wanted to avoid some of the questions of jurisdiction in the story, so I wanted to make it fictional, because you would be dealing not only with a story that's taking place in two different townships in terms of police jurisdiction, but two different states. And in fact, in the Delaware Bay, there is also a Delaware Bay police that has authority for the bridge and the ferry. So the questions, start to come up about what lab is it going to go to, and that wasn't the story I wanted to write. I think it would actually be an interesting story, but that wasn't the story that I wanted to tell, and I didn't want to get bogged down in a tale that becomes more about jurisdiction.
Right, right.
So that by making this setting fictional, I do an end run around that issue.
Yeah. See, I find that all of my books have been inspired by a setting. I'll be somewhere, and that's when the idea of the book comes to me. And wouldn't it be great if this happened there? And so settings almost like a character in the book.
Yes, I agree. Settings to me drive storytelling, and I have a particular writing exercise that I do, especially when I'm traveling to places that are not part of my normal routine.
Okay, so budding authors, listen to this.
And for me, it's an exercise in, I call it finding the dead body, which really is about finding the story idea. So for example, Death in White Diamonds, I was on the bay side of Cape May, strolling on the beach in the winter, when I imagined a dead body at the waterline. When I do that, it's really again about practicing finding story ideas, and I'll usually just sit down and write 2 or 3 sentences to capture that scene, that place, and that moment when a character finds a dead body. I found them on the train going down to Washington. I found them in the Kennedy Center, but this one I found, say, on the beach in Cape May. I wrote 3 or 4 sentences and just set it aside, because it's, for me, not necessarily about writing a story. It really is an exercise for me. But those 2 or 3 sentences became the first paragraph of Death in White Diamonds, because there was something about that particular dead body that just kept saying, tell my story. You found me, tell my story. I need people to know
It
what
always
happened.
amazes me what the human brain can come up with. The different ways we look at things, and how various situations speak to us differently. Why mystery? Why did you choose to write mystery?
I'm not sure I did choose to write mystery. The first book in my series, which is Who Was Killing Doa's Deer, came out in 2004. When I first started writing it, I was writing a story about the Pine Barrens. I was writing a story about the mythology, the folklore, the legends, but it started by putting a character on a back road in the New Jersey Pine Barrens in the hour before the sun comes up. Turned out she was a tabloid reporter. She was covering a story. And I get about a third of the way through the book, and she's actually investigating for the tabloid these unexplained appearances of dead deer on back roads in the Pine Barrens. And about a third of the way through the book, she comes upon a particular sighting of dead deer and finds a dead body in among the deer. And that's when I realized that book was a murder mystery. And I think that's when I became a mystery writer. So I don't know that I would say I consciously chose to be a mystery writer. And I don't tend to think in terms of genre as much as I think some people do. I just think readers want good stories well told. And if I have an idea, I'll sit down and write it, and I will let publishers and booksellers tell me what shelf it belongs on and what genre they want it to belong to.
Yeah, I would like to write a mystery that doesn't have anything to do with a crime.
Okay.
Someday. Just, I can't even give you an example of what, but something that isn't a crime, because my books are all crimes in there, and there's always a bad guy. I do write for children, so things tend to be a bit simplistic as far as, good guys and bad guys. But I would really like to write a mystery that is just the mystery of life somehow.
Well, again, I think that there's lots of puzzles in the world. There's lots of things that, at least on first glance, make no sense. And I think exploring those is really ultimately what mysteries are about.
I often ask, when I do workshops, I say, why? I ask the reader, why do you like mysteries? What is it about a mystery? And of course, there are various answers. So I suppose it's the same for the writer, that there are various things you're working out when you're doing a mystery. So we both belong to Mystery Writers of America, and that's a very good organization that we belong to. And are you coming to the Edgar Allan Poe Festival in Riverhead?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. I'll see you there.
I will be back in 10 days.
Okay. Braving the traffic. Yeah.
I love being a member of the Mystery Writers of America, and in particular,
Me too.
the New York Regional Chapter, which is much larger geographically, I think, than most people would realize. We cover New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, and West Virginia. But the more active that I've become with NWA, the more I've gotten in return.
Oh, I think that's true.
In terms of both the experiences, the network, the opportunities, but also just the things that I've learned. I mean, mystery writers are so generous with their time and their talent, and I've learned so much from other members of MWA that more and more these days I look for opportunities to participate with things that MWA is doing.
We have a few minutes. Where are your books available?
They're available certainly online, all of the places that you like to shop, Amazon most notably, but any place certainly online. They are available in some bookstores. For example, in Central Jersey, you can find them in many Barnes & Nobles. You can find them in some independent bookstores. And certainly any bookstore that doesn't have it can get it for you.
We'll order it, of
So
course.
if you'd like to go into bookstores and not just shop digitally, you'll be able to find Death and White Diamonds in bookstores as well.
Excellent. One short piece of advice for writers.
Well, especially for aspiring writers, I would say aspiring writers worry about publishing and marketing way too early in the process. I think that nothing matters until you've written the best book you're capable of writing. And until you do that, I think we rush too quickly into the publishing and marketing questions without saying first, is this really the best book that I can write?
Thank you, Jeff.
My pleasure. It was fun.
I hope we didn't get cut off at the end. Probably not.